Ship 30 just breathed a big fire, and you know what that means? The next flight is coming so close. Right after that, Elon Musk dropped the latest hints about the upcoming changes to the launch date. So, when will it happen, and what can we expect? Let's find out in today's episode. On July 26th, Ship 30 underwent a critical static fire test at Massey's test site. This wasn't the first time the ship had breathed fire on the launch pad. Earlier on May 8th, it successfully completed a static fire, much to the delight of SpaceX engineers. However, after the initial test, SpaceX implemented significant changes to Ship 30's engine system. These upgrades necessitated a new test, a cautious but essential step in the spacecraft's launch preparation process. And this test provided us with some truly spectacular footage. Look, for the first time, we got to witness the sheer power of the Raptor engines up close, from a never-before-seen angle, from beneath. This angle lets us truly feel the immense force of these powerful engines. The test lasted a thrilling 7 seconds, starting with the ignition of 3 vacuum Raptors. Just a few seconds later, 3 sea-level Raptors roared to life, creating a symphony of fire and power. A total thrust of 1,500 tons was unleashed, a truly awe-inspiring sight. Applause to SpaceX's camera system. It delivered the most realistic images of Starship's power. We saw extremely hot and powerful exhaust gases shooting straight down, kicking up dust, debris, and rocks, a scene unlike anything we've seen before. This test also highlighted the crucial role of SpaceX's new flame trench. Compared to the May test, the difference is incredible. Now, the thrust from the Raptor engines is smoothly redirected. Previously, at the suborbital pad B, this thrust hit the concrete directly, creating shockwaves that spread in all directions. With the new flame diverter, the exhaust is channeled outward, not only protecting the ship and the test pad, but also providing us with a clear side view. Compare this to the May test, where dust clouds created a towering wall of smoke around the ship, obscuring the view. I'll definitely remember this era of SpaceX. Somehow the perception of Starship's power is diminished when it doesn't obliterate the ground beneath it on takeoff. But when they make something less dramatic, it means they're doing it right. After the test, Ship 30 was transported back to the production site before heading to the launch pad for a wet dress rehearsal with Booster 12. So, with both stages having completed their final static fire tests, the big question is, when will the 5th flight take place? Currently, both the booster and ship are in the build site. Next, SpaceX will undergo a rigorous process of repeated stacking and detaching. This meticulous procedure ensures that every component of the rocket and its support systems functions flawlessly when fully assembled. Simultaneously, it confirms that the systems of both the upper and lower stages operate seamlessly together. Following this, a full day will be dedicated to the wet dress rehearsal. Before the Flight Termination System, FTS, is officially installed, the engineering team will spend a few days using man lifts to thoroughly inspect the external wiring of the stages and ensure the radio receivers for the FTS are functioning correctly. Additionally, scaffolding on the launch pad and cranes constructing Pad B need to be moved. With all these steps, it could take over 2 weeks to complete everything. However, progress at Starbase only tells us when Starship is technically ready to fly. As always, safety is the deciding factor for the launch schedule. Recently, in an online interview, Elon Musk revealed that the flight could happen around late August to early September. The launch date heavily depends on the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA. SpaceX is waiting for the FAA to issue the launch license, a crucial factor in finalizing the schedule. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that we might have to wait for about 1 more month from now. Well, the FAA has often been seen as a major hurdle to the development of the space industry. With its complex and lengthy licensing process, the FAA has caused considerable delays and frustration for companies like SpaceX. However, the reasons behind the FAA's frequent delays can be understood. The FAA's primary role is to ensure public safety during launches and to re-establish commercial activities in space. But in the past, the FAA once deviated from its own operational rules, leading to disastrous outcomes. Yes, I'm talking about the 2 catastrophic crashes involving Boeing 737 MAX 8 aircraft in 2018 and 2019, which claimed 346 lives. What happened? The FAA relied on the manufacturer's employees to carry out some safety-related tasks instead of overseeing them directly. Learning from these costly lessons, the FAA had to re-evaluate its entire oversight process and implement stricter measures to regain public trust. This working method has created an interesting conflict. For long-established companies like Boeing, which may have lost the engineering-first mentality, stringent FAA oversight is necessary to ensure safety. But for innovative and dynamic companies like SpaceX, the FAA's processes sometimes become a significant obstacle. SpaceX is renowned for its fail-fast, learn-fast approach. They rely on continuous test flights, where engineers quickly learn from both successes and failures to make improvements and return to flight in the shortest time possible. For SpaceX, accidents are not something to be avoided at all costs, but are seen as an inevitable part of the development process. Luckily, this time, SpaceX doesn't need a mishap investigation report to the FAA. They only need approval to continue their launch program. However, the FAA still requires a new license if there are any changes to the rocket's configuration or flight profile. For Flight 5, the 232-foot booster landing at the launch tower is a significant change that necessitates an updated safety review before the license can be granted. Although SpaceX has provided renderings of how the new system will work, this technology has yet to be tested in real-world conditions. This presents a challenge for the FAA in assessing safety levels. The FAA confirmed that SpaceX has requested modifications to its current Starship launch license, but declined to disclose how long it will take to review these changes. No worries, let's give them the time they need. The more thorough the preparations, the higher the chances of success, and the greater our opportunity to witness the most spectacular catch in history. Imagine the best-case scenario. The booster, a true beast, returns to the site of its glorious ascent with remarkable grace. Just like in the animation SpaceX has shared, the booster will slow its descent, hovering in midair for those precious few seconds before gently landing into the wide-open arms of Mechazilla, the colossal rocket-catching machine. This will be a moment when precision reaches its peak. Both the booster and the launch tower must achieve perfect synchronization, a high-tech dance between mechanical systems. The booster needs to navigate and decelerate with extreme accuracy. This demands that the grid fins and engines work perfectly. You see, the launch tower is in a fixed position on the ground, unable to move to catch the booster. This means the booster cannot drift off its target even slightly. Simultaneously, Mechazilla's chopsticks must operate flawlessly at the same time. They need to catch the booster at the right moment, at the correct lift points, and with the precise force to avoid crushing it. Then, with gentleness and control, they will slowly lower the booster, allowing it to complete its mission safely. Successfully catching the booster would be a monumental technical milestone for SpaceX. It would not only demonstrate the company's top-tier engineering capabilities, but also mark the first step in Starship's fully reusable era. This holds immense significance for the future of the space industry. Well, we're in for one hell of a ride with Starship's upcoming flight. While we're all crossing our fingers for a picture-perfect booster catch, let's face it, space exploration is as unpredictable as it is thrilling. If the catch doesn't go as planned, we're looking at two possible scenarios. First up, a soft ocean landing, just like we saw in Flight 4. Not ideal, but it's still mind-blowing to see a massive rocket gracefully descend from the heavens. Then there's the hold onto your hats scenario. The booster could go out with a massive bang at the catch tower. It's definitely not the outcome we're rooting for, but even a spectacular explosion would give SpaceX's brainiacs a treasure trove of data to chew on. Now, I know some folks are freaking out about SpaceX only having one launch tower. What if it goes boom? Yeah, SpaceX currently has only one launch tower, and if the booster explodes, they could lose this critical infrastructure. But we need to look at the issue more optimistically and comprehensively. The real headache isn't the hardware, it's the red tape. The real issue isn't the launch tower itself, but the investigation and licensing process of the FAA. If the booster experiences a significant failure, a mishap investigation will undoubtedly take place. We all know how time-consuming this can be, potentially slowing down SpaceX's progress. In this case, SpaceX might only be able to conduct one more Starship launch this year. Indeed, the fifth flight could become the final test flight before the FAA approves a completely new launch procedure. Elon Musk has estimated the success rate of catching the booster at around 50%. This is a dramatic figure. So what do you think? Do you believe SpaceX will succeed in this booster catch attempt? Comment below. All right, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, my friends. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button to stay updated. And I'll see you next time.